Hey everyone, Austin with Paragon City Games again for another walkthrough Wednesday for you. So this week we've got Camel Up, which is a game all about betting on a camel race. Okay, so the overview of this game is that you are a wealthy gambler and you're gambling on a camel race. Now we have the camels right here. They're all in different colors, black, yellow, green, all these different colors. And what they're doing is they're going around and they're trying to see who will be the first one to finish the race. So the normal camels will be going clockwise around the track from 1 to 16, and the crazy camels will be going from 16 to 1, so the opposite way. Now the way that you play this game is that you'll set up the board. So you'll put the dice roller, which is the pyramid, out. You'll have your tokens that you'll put out as well. Everybody will start off with a deck of cards. And I'll explain this in a little bit as well. And everybody will have a spectator chip. And then you'll also have, these are the gambling cards right here. These are actually where you'll make your money. You'll also have a certain amount of coins, which you'll have 5 piece coins, and you'll have 1 piece coins as well, which are the gold and silver ones. All right, so to start off the game, what you'll do is you'll roll all the dice. So take these, roll them out. Whatever the number is where the camel's going to start off. So I've got a 3 on yellow. Yellow starts on 3. Got a 2 on purple. Purple starts on 2. And so you're going to do that with all the camels. Now you're going to notice that these dice only go up to the number 3, which means that if you have multiples on the same number, you actually will stack the camels on top of each other. So I've got a green 2, which means the green one is going to go right on top of the purple one. You can see that, right on top of the purple one. And they'll start on number 2. Okay, so once you've got the camels all lined up when they are where they need to be, you'll start playing the game, and the youngest player will go first. So the white yellow or the white crazy camel will go over here. The black one will go somewhere over here. Again, depends on the dice. Okay, so the whole objective of the game is to make the most money by the time a camel finishes the race. And there's a couple ways to do that. So the first way you're going to do that is you're going to take a betting card. Now these betting cards will show you where the camel should be and how much money you're going to make off it. So for example, the very first card on top of the pile is going to have a big number 5 on that. What that means is that if this specific colored camel, so in this case it's blue, if this ends the round in first place, you will get 5 coins off of this. If it ends in second place, you'll get 2 coins, and if it ends in third, fourth, or fifth, you'll actually lose a coin. You'll have a 5 coin value, you'll have a 3 coin value, and you'll have a 2 coin value. It actually is you get 1 coin if it's in second place, not 2 coins. So that was my bad. But every color will have that. So the first card on top of the pile will always be 5, the second you'll always get 3, and the third and fourth you'll always get 2. And that's for first place. If it ever ends up in second place, you'll only get 1, and if it ends up in third, fourth, or fifth, you'll lose 1. And again, that goes for all the colors. So that's one thing you can do on your turn. And you can have as many of these as you want, and as many of these as are left. So if you're thinking that the yellow camel is going to take second place, or at least first place, you can take all the yellow ones if nobody else takes the yellow ones. Or you can take all the red ones, or you can have a mixture of all both. But you can only take 1 per action when it's your turn. So that's the first thing you can do. The second thing you can do is you can actually place a bet on which camel is going to be first and which camel is going to end up in last place. So in your hand, you'll have 5 cards. Okay, and each one of these will have your face on it of the character that you're playing as, and it will have a color of a camel in here. So when you go to bet, you say, oh, I think purple is going to be in first place. So you'll take the purple one, you'll put it over here in first place. Or you think, you know what, I think this yellow one's going to take last place. You'll put it over here where the last place camel betting cards are going to go. And you can add more to the pile if you want. You can't add less, but you can add more if you want. So if I'm thinking, oh, actually, I think the green one is going to take first place, I'm going to put the green one on top of the pile. And then there's rules for what happens when you have more than one card in those piles. Okay, so that's what the cards are used for. And that's the second thing you can do. You can bet on the winning camel, you can bet on the losing camel. Now the third thing you can do is you can take your spectator chip and you can put it on a free tile in front of the camels. There needs to be at least a space in front and a space behind the camels as well. So you can't just place it like right underneath the camel or right in front of one. There's two sides to it. There's a +1 side and there's a -1 side. If a camel lands on your spectator chip, it will do what it says on the chip. So if you put the +1 side up, it'll move up a space. If the -1 side is up, you'll put it back 1 space. Now, whenever a camel lands on your spectator chip, you'll get a free 1 coin piece. So if you get a couple that lands on it, you'll get a couple coins off of that. Now, the last thing you can do for your turn is you can roll dice to move the camels forward. And the way you do that is you take a dice rolling token, and these will have a 1 coin piece on them. And that's because at the end of the round, you'll get a coin for these, for every one that you have. So you'll take one, you'll put the dice in the pyramid, shake it up a little bit, and there's a little button on the side that you'll click, and the dice will pull out. So this is a green one. It's a green 2, which means that we're going to move the green one forward 2 spaces. When you're done with that, you'll put the dice on one of these tents that's next to the pyramid, so that way you can see when you've rolled up to 5 dice. So the round will end when 5 dice have been rolled. If you happen to roll this gray one, this gray one works for the white and black camels. Now, the way that these work is they're actually moving backwards against the normal flow of the race. So if you roll a black number, you'll move the black camel, and if you roll a white number, you'll move the white camel. And again, they'll go backwards. If there are camels on top of each other and you roll the dice, you have to move the camel of the color that you rolled and then all the camels on top of it. So for example, with this pile, I've got a red on bottom and a yellow on top. So if I roll the red dice and it's a red 1, I move the red and the yellow one forward 1. Now if let's say there's a camel on the space that you're about to land on. Okay, so we roll a 1. The red camel and the yellow camel will both go on top of the green camel. So you'll stack them on top of the camel that's already there. If the dice that you roll has the camel on top, you just move that camel and you don't move the pile. So what you're doing is you're moving the camel of the color that you need to move and everything else on top of it, the amount of spaces that you need to move. And this works as well for the white and black camels. So let's say this is my pile. I've got black on the bottom with green and red. I roll the gray dice and it's a black 2. The whole pile will actually move backwards. Okay, so you'll move the green and the red one back, the same way that you would move the black camel. Now, if let's say the black camel's on top, you roll the green one, move it forward, the black camel will also move forward. So the piles will work the exact same for these camels as well. Like I mentioned before, you can do all these different actions, but you can do as many of these actions as you would like when it's your turn, but as soon as 5 of the dice have been rolled, the round is over. Okay, so the game's going to end when a camel crosses the finish line. So after it gets past the 16th space. When that happens, you'll count up all your coins, you'll see who guessed correctly of who would finish first and who would finish in last place, and there's different bonuses based off of that as well. And then whoever has obviously the most coins at the end of the game, or the most currency at the end of the game, is going to win the game. We very, very highly recommend this game. It's decently chaotic. You can have some strategy in it, but then there'll be like a whole turn where all of that is just thrown into chaos. So if you're the kind of gamer that likes a game that has a little bit of strategy, but can also flip on its head in an instant, this is definitely the kind of game for you. A very good family game. It can be played from anywhere from 3 to 8 players. We recommend playing this with kids that are probably 10 and up. There's a little bit of math involved, there's a little bit of strategy, but like I said, it's a pretty good, neutral, chaotic game. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us at 801 Paragon or message us on Facebook, and we'll see you guys next week. Just recorded like 10 minutes without hitting play. Oh my gosh. Travis is really bad at Summoner's War. But his cologne smells really good.